Hyper rare gold cards have historically been harder to pull than any other card. But do people actually want them? Hyper rares have kind of changed in definition over the years. In Sword and Shield, they were rainbow or gold. Now with Scarlet and Violet, they are only gold cards, but across the newer sets, collectors have been collectively skipping them in favor of SIRs and now black-white rares. In the future, if they even have hyper rares, they'll probably be overshadowed by the mega ultra rares. And it's kind of interesting because pull rates are typically 2 times harder to pull a hyper rare than a special illustration rare. In the case of Prismatic, it's a 5 times difference. But nobody talks about the gold cards in any of these sets. They all want the Umbreon or the Booty Chew as opposed to the hyper rare Pikachu because it's basically just a gold ultra rare. So I think as an interesting card, unless it's Sun and Moon or older, the hyper rares aren't really that valuable. Even with Sword and Shield, if you look at values for the hyper rare rainbow cards as opposed to the alt arts or the trainer galleries, a lot of the trainer galleries, even the Rayquaza VMAX from Silver Tempest is almost $100 now. I think if you put all the hyper rares from Sword and Shield together, you'd probably get to $100, with the exception of the Charizard from Champions Pack. So for the most recent set to have hyper rares in it, Destined Rivals, even the most valuable hyper rare, which is the Mewtwo EX with Giovanni in it, is $65. The Mewtwo EX SIR, which is supposedly 2 times easier to pull, is almost $400 because it's an SIR. So I feel like people care more about the art than the gold. It's only really the collectors that value quantifiable rarity that would want the gold cards because they are the rarest, they are the least printed. But as far as the majority of collectors who collect what they like, nobody really wants these hyper rares. So similarly to the hyper rares of Sword and Shield, where the rainbow cards got phased out in favor of rainbow borders for the Terra cards, the hyper rares of Scarlet and Violet, being the gold cards, will probably phase out in their own time as well. Even with the last set of Scarlet and Violet Black and White, we saw the hyper rares replaced by the black-white rares. I anticipate for Mega Evolution and onward, they're gonna have the Mega Ultra rares and whatever other Mega rarities. But I don't think the gold cards are really gonna make that big of a splash in Mega onward. So do you think hyper rares as we know them will stay, or will they evolve into something greater? Let me know in the comments.